Welcome to today's video where we dive into the incredible stories of people who survived against all odds. From shark encounters to parachute failures, these individuals are truly the lucky ones. We're talking about those moments where the line between life and death is razor thin, where every decision, every second, determines your fate. These are the stories that will leave you breathless, stories that prove that sometimes, just sometimes, luck is on your side. So, strap yourselves in and get ready for an adrenaline-fueled ride as we explore the unbelievable experiences of those who stared death in the face and lived to tell the tale. Picture this: crystal clear waters, the sun beating down on your back, the gentle lull of the waves, paradise, right? But for one unsuspecting individual, this idyllic scene transformed into a fight for survival in the blink of an eye. Our story takes us to the coast of Australia, a haven for surfers and marine life alike. The coastline is renowned for its stunning beauty and the vibrant community of surfers who flock there. It was there that a young surfer named Mark was riding the waves, enjoying the thrill of the ocean's power. The waves were perfect, and Mark felt an exhilarating rush as he carved through the water. Little did he know, danger lurked beneath the surface. The ocean, while beautiful, holds many secrets and perils. As Mark paddled further out, a dark shadow emerged from the depths. It was an eerie sight, one that would make anyone's heart race. It circled him slowly, its immense size sending shivers down his spine. The water seemed to grow colder as the predator closed in. This was no ordinary fish, this was a great white shark, and it had its sights set on Mark. The apex predator of the ocean, known for its power and ferocity. The shark lunged, its jaws wide open, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. It was a terrifying sight, one that would haunt anyone's dreams. Time seemed to slow down as Mark instinctively thrust his surfboard forward, putting his only line of defense between himself and the predator. His mind raced, thinking of survival. The impact sent shockwaves through Mark's body. He could feel the raw power of the shark, a force of nature that was almost unstoppable. He could feel the sheer force of the shark as it thrashed its powerful body, trying to dislodge him from the surfboard. The struggle was intense, a battle for survival. Fear coursed through his veins, but Mark knew he couldn't give in to panic. He had to stay focused, every second counted. He had to act fast, his muscles tensed, ready to make his next move. With adrenaline pumping, Mark kicked out with all his might, connecting with the shark's snout. It was a desperate move, but it was all he could do. The blow startled the predator momentarily, giving Mark a precious window of opportunity. He knew he had to seize it. He scrambled onto his surfboard, his heart pounding in his chest. Every second felt like an eternity. The shark circled once more, its cold black eyes fixated on Mark. It was a chilling sight, one that would be etched in his memory forever. It was a standoff, a battle of wills between man and beast. Both were determined, but only one could prevail. But luck, it seemed, was on Mark's side that day. He felt a glimmer of hope. As if sensing a greater force approaching, the shark turned and disappeared into the depths as quickly as it had appeared. It was a moment of relief. Mark was left shaken but alive, his surfboard bearing the scars of the encounter. It was a testament to the ordeal he had just survived. It was a day he would never forget, a day that taught him the true power and unpredictability of the ocean. The experience had changed him. This story, my friends, is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to our ability to face our fears and come out stronger, to our ability to stay calm under pressure and make split-second decisions that can mean the difference between life and death. Mark's quick thinking saved his life. Mark's encounter is a stark reminder that we are visitors in the ocean's domain, and we must always treat it with the respect it deserves. The ocean is a powerful force, one that commands respect and awe. The rush of adrenaline, the wind whipping past your face, the earth spread out beneath you like a giant map, it's an experience that defies description. Skydiving is not for the faint of heart. It requires a unique blend of courage, skill, and a touch of madness. But for those who dare to take the leap of faith, it's an experience like no other. The feeling of freedom, the thrill of the fall, it's something that stays with you forever. However, for one skydiver, what began as an exhilarating adventure quickly turned into a terrifying nightmare. A nightmare that no amount of training could have fully prepared her for. Imagine the feeling of jumping out of a plane, the ground thousands of feet below, only to have your parachute fail to open. The sheer terror of that moment is unimaginable. This is the story of Victoria, an experienced skydiver who faced her worst fear and lived to tell the tale, a tale of survival against all odds. Victoria had completed hundreds of jumps, her parachute always deploying flawlessly. She was confident, skilled, and always prepared. But on this particular day, fate had other plans. Plans that would test her to the very limits of her endurance and bravery. As she plummeted towards the earth at a dizzying speed, Victoria desperately tried to deploy her main parachute. Nothing. The cord wouldn't budge. Panic surged through her as she realized the gravity of the situation. Her mind raced, her heart pounded, and every second felt like an eternity. Her life hung by a thread, a single cord connecting her to survival. The reserve parachute was her last hope. With only seconds to spare, Victoria reached for her reserve parachute. Her hands trembled, but she knew this was her only chance. Time seemed to slow down as she fought against the force of the wind, her fingers fumbling with the release mechanism. Every moment was a battle. Finally, with a desperate tug, the reserve parachute deployed. Relief washed over her, but it was short-lived. But the relief was short-lived. The reserve chute, though open, had become tangled, sending Victoria into a violent spin. She spiraled towards the ground, the force of the spin threatening to rip her apart. The situation was dire. She spiraled towards the ground, the force of the spin threatening to rip her apart. The situation was dire. But amidst the chaos, Victoria's training kicked in. She remembered her drills, her practice, and her determination to survive. She fought against the G-forces, her mind racing to find a solution. Her training and instincts were her only allies. With incredible presence of mind, Victoria managed to untangle the reserve chute just moments before impact. It was a race against time. She braced herself for the crash, her body tense, her heart pounding in her chest. The ground was approaching fast. The impact was jarring, but she had survived. Against all odds, she had made it. Victoria emerged from the wreckage, battered and bruised, but alive. Her body ached, but her spirit was unbroken. She had stared death in the face and emerged victorious, a testament to her courage, her skill, and an extraordinary stroke of luck. Her story is one of resilience and determination. Her story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of unimaginable fear, we have the strength to overcome any obstacle. It's a testament to the human spirit. It's a story that will stay with you long after you've finished watching, a story that proves that miracles do happen. Victoria's tale is one of hope, courage, and the unbreakable will to survive. We've all seen those disaster movies where bridges crumble and fall, the ground seeming to swallow everything in its path. The scenes are dramatic, filled with chaos and destruction, leaving us on the edge of our seats. But what if you found yourself living through such a terrifying ordeal? What if the disaster wasn't just on the screen but happening right in front of your eyes? This is the story of John, an ordinary man who found himself caught in an extraordinary situation when a bridge collapsed beneath him. His day started like any other, but it would soon turn into a fight for survival. It was a day like any other as John drove home from work, his mind preoccupied with the day's events. He was thinking about the meeting he had, the tasks he completed, and the plans he had for the evening. He was crossing a suspension bridge, a familiar route he had taken countless times before. The bridge was a symbol of routine, a part of his daily life that he never gave a second thought to. But on this fateful day, the bridge had other plans. Without any warning, the ordinary turned into the extraordinary. Without warning, the bridge began to shake violently. The vibrations were intense, as if an earthquake had struck, causing the entire structure to tremble. The road ahead of him started to buckle and crack, the metal structure groaning under immense stress. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. John slammed on his brakes, his car skidding to a halt just as a gaping chasm opened up in front of him. The sight was terrifying, a void where solid ground should have been. The car behind him wasn't so lucky. It plunged into the abyss below, the sickening crunch of metal echoing through the air. The sound was haunting, a reminder of the fragility of life. It plunged into the abyss below, the sickening crunch of metal echoing through the air. John was trapped. The realization hit him hard, but he knew he had to stay focused. The section of the bridge he was on was rapidly tilting downwards, threatening to break off entirely. The danger was immediate and very real. He knew he had to act fast if he wanted to survive. Every second counted, and hesitation could mean the difference between life and death. Panic surged through him, but he fought to stay calm. His heart was racing, adrenaline pumping through his veins, but he knew he had to keep his wits about him. He had to think clearly if he was going to get out of this alive. His mind raced through possible escape routes, each one seeming more impossible than the last. Looking around frantically, John noticed a steel beam protruding from the wreckage. It was a glimmer of hope in an otherwise dire situation. It was his only hope. The beam represented a slim chance of survival, a lifeline he couldn't afford to ignore. With a surge of adrenaline, John scrambled out of his car window and edged his way towards the beam, his heart pounding in his chest. Each movement was a struggle, but he pushed on. He could feel the bridge swaying precariously beneath him, the wind whipping around him, the roar of the collapsing structure deafening. The chaos was overwhelming, but he couldn't afford to lose focus. But John held on tight, his grip on the beam his lifeline. It was a tenuous hold, but it was all he had. He pulled himself up, his muscles screaming in protest, and slowly inched his way along the beam, moving further and further away from the collapsing bridge. Each inch felt like a mile, but he persevered. It felt like an eternity, but finally, John reached solid ground. The relief was immense, but the ordeal wasn't over yet. He collapsed onto the tarmac, his body shaking, his mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what had just happened. He had survived. The realization was both overwhelming and surreal. Against all odds, he had cheated death. The experience had changed him forever, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. John's story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of unimaginable disaster, hope and survival are possible. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a testament to the human instinct to survive, to our ability to dig deep and find the strength to carry on when everything seems lost. In the darkest moments, we find our true strength. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these incredible stories of survival, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. Stay safe and stay lucky. We've journeyed together through shark-infested waters, plummeted from the sky, and navigated collapsing bridges, all through the eyes of ordinary people who faced extraordinary circumstances. These stories remind us that life is precious, unpredictable, and sometimes miraculously on our side. Until next time, remember to appreciate the gift of each day and never underestimate the power of the human spirit.